Okay, so today I'm going to be doing the horror little format that I was talking about, where like I'll watch something scary. I at least assume this is going to be horror. It's like Evil Lives Here or whatever, so I'll just do the first episode of that. And so the point is it'll be a challenge kind of similar to the sitcom one, where it's like, oh, I'll watch until I get scared. Whereas there it was the opposite, like I'll watch until it fails to make me laugh for an episode. So we got to episode 2 of The Big Bang Theory. Before that, so this slot will be like all permadeath sort of challenge stuff where it has some sort of high risk of ending. So in this case, it's the opposite. Like, so where I will try not to laugh, not to get scared, right? Whereas that one I wasn't trying not to laugh, but here I'll try not to get scared. So if I do get scared, obviously we'll end the series as a sort of punishment for me for failing the challenge. Even though you would think that's kind of bad because it's like you're punishing the series for being scary. But no, I'm generally considered pretty desensitized, so I probably won't get scared. And, you know, I generally have a history of that. Doesn't mean I think it's even bad, right? But because I know it's not real, it's a pretty basic thing. Like, oh, you know, I know it's not real, so it's not that scary, or it's not that funny, or I know it's trying to be funny, so therefore it fails. The things that I typically find funny are like, you know, so bad that it's good type of stuff, where it's like, you know, it's trying to be serious and it fails, so therefore, you know, it's a comedy of errors rather than something that's actually trying to be funny, then it feels like it's trying too hard. And so, I don't know, it just throws this kind of a random, I don't know if it even is a horror series. I would assume so. I was going to try to find American Horror Story, but I guess it's not on HBO Max, so I'll have to find that some other time. But yeah, this is meant to be an alternating variety format, and then my other day, every other day I'll do this sort of series again, whether it's this one or something else, because this fails, I don't know. And so it doesn't mean that one of these couldn't last a long time. It just means that the standard is pretty high, that it would have to, well, I guess with this it's the opposite, it would have to be me. So we're starting episode 1 in 3, 2, 1. It might be off by like a second. So this is the Evil Lives Here, I think. I can't even see the title once you're in here. So, again, I'll assume it's horror if it's not. Or maybe oh, maybe it'll be like something else. Like, I should be more scared than I am too, because it's not a horror series. This might just be like it's talking about people who living with a criminal. Oh shit. I guess I have no choice though. I should plan this ahead a little better. I'll still say until I get scared by what they did, maybe, but that's not really fair. Though it could be considered horror in a manner of speaking, but it's not really. Right, it's more like, what could be the format for this then? What if the person closest to you, maybe it should be instead until I predict something, was the devil in disguise. Could still be an interesting show, but that's not what I thought it would be. Could you see the signs? Yeah, unless I failed to see the signs as a psychology detective roleplay expert, I should have some capability here. Like how I was saying with the detective series, I should have to guess something. If I failed to guess the killer by the middle of the episode, I can't really read all these subtitles that are showing in between, so I'll just have to go with the audio. And that's the one thing I was saying with a horror experience. I won't be able to appreciate the visuals as much, so even if I was to get scared, maybe you should have better judgment and perception, though. You should have seen the signs, right? People just want to be blind and whatever. The problem is that evil, as they're saying, is not a state of being. It's a... Meet them at a bar. Wow. That's a high standard. You get drunk at a bar. Wow, this guy's an angel. What is this recreation, dude? She looks a lot larger there than she actually is here. Yeah, I always call into question your judgment a little bit. I'm not saying that you should always be able to predict it, but you should be able to. Oh, nice choice. Eager to have a father figure. How about I watch so I get triggered by somebody's stupidity until I start victim blaming? It's already over. But no, evil is not a state of being. It's an individual act. So you have to... Anybody can do something evil, so then he, you know, I don't look at it like, oh, just broadly, she keeps saying, oh, he's just evil, period. Sheila found something unsettling, that's all I saw there. These recreations are kind of dumb. He's jealous that they're putting money on the table or something. It's like showing him up. He's working so hard, and this is going to be cringe acting in the recreation, dude. If you want to do this, just show it like that. The Betty Broderick type shit. I mean, this doesn't mean... I can understand the sentiment. But that doesn't... Wonder if he actually said that verbatim. Well, that's a little crazy, but it's not too extreme. And see, we don't see all the stuff in between. Maybe, you know, I don't know. This is always like selectively shown. Not that I'm even defending the guy, but like, I don't know what the format for this one should really be, but. But that still wasn't a red flag, like... Yeah, he's... Isn't there some stereotype, like a truck driver? Like, how going postal, so like truck drivers, like they have a whole conversation like that in GTA 5, where they say, oh, truck drivers are crazy killers or this or that. They kill somebody on the side of the road and just keep driving. This is like a Joe Davola moment or something? Is that actually because money is time? Yeah, why don't you pay yourself, you ungrateful bitch? He's controlling, but it's his house. You said he makes more money than you, so... Now But you just said he's out most of the time, so you could go out and he would never know, right? He would never know because he's gone most of the time anyway. So when he's there, you should pay respect and do that. But when he's out there, you can go out with your friends and do whatever you want. And he wouldn't even know. Suspicious, but you didn't do anything. What year was this taking place in that you could have maybe had cell phones or something? You're trying to extrapolate too much. Like maybe most of the time he really was just doing his job, and then a few times he might have done something bad, but, you know, somebody has to make money because she even said that the guy made more than her. Oh, woo-hoo. So you're just a clueless, dumb clown bitch, huh? You just don't know anything, so why are we even watching this then? He's already been, like, overly, like, red flag, saying you don't need to talk to anybody else. Like, you're just like very much not perceptive at all. Evil lives here. Okay, I misjudged this 100% wrong. I'll only watch the show if I guess the genre correctly. I don't know what the fuck. Now she'll see some blood on the clothes or something. Or, yeah, he's cheating on you. That's something to be worried about. Not the fact that he probably did some other assault type related thing. No, actually, you said, what are these? No, I'm cheating on you. I totally didn't kill anybody and do whatever. Could be an affair. Yeah, he sees people all the time out of his windshield. Haha, that's the... fuck. You're just so clueless, dumb clown. Like, just break up with him now and just... What do you want? Like, how much does a guy have to do? He's already told you he has condoms, he could be cheating on you, he's overly... He was overly controlling, tells you not to talk on the phone to anybody, not to talk to your parents. Is it something sexual, I imagine, or what? Her girlfriend, even worse judgment. You picked the best friends and the best lover. He's not exactly a smooth criminal, though. Hide your shit. Hide your evidence. I thought she would have found blood on the clothes, not condoms, though. But no, what was that scene? Like, he did something physically to her, and she screamed, but we didn't hear anything. What it was, like, how many red flags do you need? He's not paying the phone bill, he's being controlling who you talk to, he has condoms. Yeah, but you didn't, so why not? Why not? Explain why you didn't. But you're pretending like you didn't know he was like this. Perfect fit. You're so fucking stupid. So this is really her fault, only to the extent that maybe, he's not a good person, but you don't have to choose to do this. Like, how many red flags do you need? I'm always an advocate of, like, have high standards. If they do something wrong to you once, they hit you once, or they do something wrong once, you find the condoms once, you see the tape once, any one of these things should be a disqualifying. Disqualify one thing and break up. That's it. Have high standards. Everybody, right? Have high standards, and then, you know what I mean? It creates higher standards in society that if you do one bad thing, then you move on, and that's it. But you're not just supposed to take. It's so bad that I stayed with him for another 20 years so I could complain about it more because I'm a dumb clown. Ha ha. Fuck. They haven't shown us that sweet guy part too much. This is the line that, like, it started with. You don't say anything, you don't do anything, you just kind of stay and just deal with it and then complain about it later, have a documentary made. Why the fuck did you just break up with him? You might say, oh, you're afraid of that too, but I mean, at some point, you're so afraid that you keep staying with him. That makes it even worse. Like, live with your parents and just hide from him. Yeah, see, this flat thing, I've always had that standard. Like, if anybody, whether guy or girl, anybody physically hurts you, that's it. You don't give them another chance. You just say, look, dude, no, not maybe it's your fault, you dumb. Break up with him, divorce him. Don't put the way this woman is justifying, or you became scared, but you stayed with him. Because, like, you get violent once, you hit somebody once, that shows you not only did they not like you or love you, they don't even respect you. Even my worst enemies, right, I would say wouldn't be hitting me, let alone, physically violent, let alone somebody you're supposed to love. So they do it once, that's it. The one hit rule, that's my rule. Like, whether you're male, female, doesn't matter, right? I've had fights with people I've been in relationships with, but I've never hit them, or they've never hit me. It never even would have crossed our mind. So, because you still respect them, you're still friends with them, even when you break up for the most part, right? You're still friends with them, so it's like, you respect them as a person, so you would never do that. Physical violence is totally off the table. It's a one-strike rule that everybody should have. Oh, blame the kids, dude. Blame the kids. Say, oh, I have all these kids that have to put up with abuse. Oh, wow. This woman is actually the real evil right here. Because she's so stupid. Where are you going to go? Get your own house, earn your own living. What are you? Oh, it's better if you put up with domestic abuse. He never thought he would harm anybody, even though you just said that, oh, he's harmed me, and he would beat me up. I never thought he would harm anybody, even though he just harmed me, and we just saw it multiple times. Like, what are you, stupid? Okay. Subliminal suggestion there, or like he's letting Freudian slip. How many clues do you need, bro? It's very hurtful. No, have your kids live with your parents or figure something else out, get assistance from the thing, get divorced, get child support, but you still keep putting up with it, so you're creating the cycle, like... So it's like he... like, it's not your fault that they treat you badly, but it's your fault if you keep letting them, right? Fool me once kind of a thing. How long do you put up with it? It doesn't make sense. Like, once is enough for, you know, fighting constantly. But no, the point is, holding to a high standard, it doesn't mean that he's not a bad guy or that what he's doing isn't wrong. But how much can you put up with the same thing? I don't know. He went to children's services, apparently, we see on the thing. Oh no, she went, but you didn't go. So she knows when to draw the line, but you don't as a mom. Like, what kind of a terrible person are you? He convinced them that everything was fine, which is actually kind of impressive. But they don't want to do their job. They don't really care. So you only validate the whole reason why she did it by getting mad about it in the first place. That he found somewhere, never came in boxes, he got it off his victim. Like, just get to the point, dude. This is dumb. I don't like this. They're dragging it out too long, and like, this is the red flag fucking mania. You could just say, oh, I didn't know that was in there. I got it at a yard sale. I got it at a yard sale. It's just somebody's... You couldn't just have gotten a used one? Like, oh, just throw out the cassette. Or you bought it at a yard sale, or you got it somewhere, it's used. Somebody, you just accepted it. You just accepted everything. You've started to become disturbing. This is a... This is a textbook way to see, like, continue to become his prodigy. It's just a book. I mean, fuck. They keep showing him with these creepy smiles. I doubt he was that. He began making bizarre comments like he hasn't been doing this the whole time. But no, this is like the textbook example of like putting up with something bad. Forget about the fact that he's a murderer. Like, let's pretend he wasn't. He's not a criminal. He's just an abusive dick. Oh, they already said this. It must have been like a flash forward thing before like a break or something. They already said this. I didn't think anything of it. Count million. Fuck, you're really dumb, dude. Like, whatever, you're dumb. You're lucky you survived. But no, it's like, what was I saying? Even if he was just an abusive dick and he never committed any criminal acts, you still shouldn't put up with it. That's the point. The point isn't, oh, he's a big bad criminal. Oh shit, it's all coming out now. That's kind of a tough spot to be in. But see, he got away with it for a long time, that means. Yeah, just don't worry about anything. Everything's fine. Everything's fine with the table burning, house on fire thing, right? That meme. Oh my god. What a dumb... Yeah, this is a victim blaming perfect moment, because it's like, it's not your fault that he behaves this way or that he treats this way or that he's even a criminal or whatever, but all of a sudden it's your fault that you keep putting up with it. So now he's gonna go to jail for it or something. You didn't want to be there by yourself, but you were. Yet she's never said, she's never said that he's hurt the kids, although he seems like the type potentially to do it. So what? So you have a little box. Yeah, so you should have... Oh, finally. God damn, what do you need, a fucking princess invitation you got out of there? Like, what the fuck, dude? Get a divorce or whatever. Yeah. Finally, you should have done this like 30 minutes ago in the episode. Or you could have lived with your parents for a while, lived with your mom, who was always trying to help. No, go back there and deal with it some more because of how you've shown this. I don't see how people always try to blame and say, oh, some people are like, there's like a term for it, like you get kind of used to it or something. But how can you get used to it? That's what I mean. Like, don't put up with it. I don't know. There's just no way to justify, like, don't deal with it for this long. We were good friends, by the way. Wait, oh, she's talking to somebody else. I was like... Yeah, you couldn't imagine him hurting somebody. Meanwhile, he just hurt you 5 seconds ago. Or now he does this. Like, oh, I couldn't imagine he did that, even though he was a domestic abuser, degenerate clown. Now, they probably only found out some of his crimes, right? Because the truck driver thing is the ultimate credit. Like, something happens and then you keep driving, so like nobody's tracking your movements really, aside from the company. Still, you need 54 police to deal with this one clown? What the fuck? What do you think, he has bombs or something? I never could have believed he would have done this. Did it just in time, though, going in protective custody. He waited about as long as he possibly could have, right? What perfect timing, aligning with the arrest and everything like that. Dumped on the side of the road in Pennsylvania. Okay, dude. What, they would be... They must have found more things that he had done. But this doesn't mean he did it. This just means he's suspected. He goes to court, they have a trial, right? You gotta wait. No, be the believer that you've been the whole time. That, oh no, I couldn't believe he did it. He didn't do it. Yeah, there were no signs. How could this happen? I never would have seen it coming. Didn't want to believe that he could have done something so evil, even though he does it all the time to you in a manner of speaking, like... And he's had all these gifts, and he's had all these things... Even though they hear him yelling all the time. She's the type of person, she'll still take him back after he gets out. Yeah, you would never think he did it. Meanwhile, you're in protective custody from him. I love that. You're in protective custody for domestic abuse before you even heard about this. He didn't. Oh wow, the cops were checking the truck. Yeah, no shit. What do you mean? No, maybe they did test everybody because they didn't know. No, she's still being dumb. They could have DNA tested everybody who drove the truck, and then they eventually found that it was him. They didn't necessarily know it was just him, unless it's only his truck. Oh, it was the same recorder of Dawn. Wait, that is kind of dark, though. It could have been somebody else's, but... Yeah, that was her... All of it was her stuff, though? I mean, how much shit did she have? You could have always taken out the fucking tape. So did you bring that to their attention, like the tape and stuff? Because that would be great evidence to have. Have we seen her picture before somewhere? Or no, you're just... I mean, maybe, but that doesn't mean anything. Now you're reading into it too much. But he hated you too, and he didn't kill you, so that's not... It could just be a random thing. But not to you or not to anybody else? That's so stupid. Not that he thought it was her, but he's just a... What do you mean you thought it was Jenny? Like... That doesn't even make sense. Like, oh yeah, I forgot that I'm driving in the middle of nowhere and I think it's her. That's such a weird extrapolation. But no, that's the ultimate I felt safe. The ultimate thing, like, you're in protective custody because he's domestically abusing you, but then you say, oh no, I wouldn't have ever imagined that he would kill somebody. This one was like super obvious. You know what I want to see in a series like this? Not that I'll watch this again, I thought it was a horror show, but it's like, I want to see one where the guy's super sly and slick and you didn't suspect a thing and you had no reason to. This guy was way too fucking obvious that always something is wrong with him. What you should have done earlier is just, not even that you should have spoke up because he might have killed you then, but... No, he might have still done it, but you would have at least broken up with him earlier and stuff like that. But the point is that he probably killed a lot of other people too. They only just found out about this one, right? He left behind some stuff in his shed too. But like, I'm sure he had other victims. You don't get a video of like this series made of you just for one. You never go in your own fucking shed, like... It's just like out there in the open too, the way they're showing it, like... Or they wouldn't have checked all this when they arrested him? They would have searched your house and your shed and stuff? Trucker guilty of murder. Upsetting but not surprising. Oh, so it would have made it better if it was to somebody older? Like, what? How could you have done that, period? How about that? I don't know, this is just bringing out the ultimate elitist victim blame or sensibility, but... I guess maybe he was careful in those senses, but... It could be other truckers too. Again, it's like the postal stereotype. I don't know why, but you're out on the road all day like that, makes you crazy. I don't know what the stereotype is, but truckers get paid pretty well actually, though. These days, at least, nobody wants to do it. Oh, I guess he's guilty. He drove to all these states, so therefore he's guilty. Yeah, no shit. Wherever they need stuff delivered is where he went. Fuck. That's what a truck driver does. I don't know what she's trying to draw together, though. He could have killed anybody, like... Just Dawn was just random. Trucker gets life for killing Gary Runaway. That was... I don't know, it's still too much of an extrapolation to say that they're all him, though. It could be, it could not be. That's kind of still hard to prove, but, you know, there's no way you can really prove that. That's the problem. These must have been just, like, open cases that they never found who did them, and now they're just kind of linking them together. I'm surprised the police wouldn't have checked the shed before, though, and you would have already known what was in here. Like The Walking Dead Season 1, where they don't want you to go in the back of the shed. Cannibal thing, like they're eating people. I mean, how many different kind of ropes are there? Maybe it's just a standard rope that you get everywhere. Look, the point is he's a bad guy. I'm not defending. I'm just kind of... I don't know what the point of even watching this was, but the point was... Well, why else would he give the bird... Good thing he wasn't cheating on you, at least. Or wait, he kind of... Yeah, now you realize that, like... But again, the real lesson here is he's a bad guy, fair enough, right? But that's not the point. The point is that the wife is just dumb and should have left him a lot sooner. Otherwise, something worse could have happened to her. Don't put up with domestic... Yeah, I mean, this is all obvious. He stole the stuff from them. He used the condoms and stuff. But why would you kill them and take it in the first place is the real question. I mean, he feels like, why waste it if I'm going to do that? I may as well bring it home and give it to my daughter or whatever. But no, I'll watch some horror series actually next time, but... yes, he was trying to fake his own death. And, to try to get away with his crimes. He'll try to fake his own death. Okay, that's just an extrapolated theory that you don't know what he was going to do with it. You were lucky because you were so dumb that you stayed with him for so long. You should have left a lot sooner. He was never charged with any other murders. Yeah, like I said, it would be hard to prove. No, there is still a use. So what about the families of the... They think he did, but... Oh, now it's easy for a truck driver to do it. Takes out his anger. But now you're blaming yourself too much. Like, it's not your fault that he did that, but... I mean... So the lesson is don't be so oblivious, at least. Be a little more... Yes, thank you. You say the correct thing. You should have left a long time ago. These are the same lines that they repeat from the beginning. Okay. It could be an interesting series, but it's just not what I really want to watch. And again, I only picked it because it seemed like a horror thing. And again, it can be horrific in a way. Again, don't take what I'm saying the wrong way either. It's like, it's just whatever. Like, you got to learn the lesson out of it. He's obviously a bad guy. We get it. That would have been obvious from the beginning. Whatever, if that's what it's about. But we got to find an actual proper horror series, and we can do that the next time. I just didn't know what to watch, so I randomly chose that. And I assumed it was like a horror thing. Yeah, the real lesson and the telltale moment of the whole thing is like, she even says, when he's suspected of murder, even though she's living in solitary confinement, whatever, away from him, right? So like a week before, he didn't even kill anybody. Yeah, you didn't know that, right? You just left him because he was being domestically abusive towards you, physically abusive and all that. So you leave a guy who's physically abusing you, and then you hear he's accused of murder, and it's like, oh my goodness, gasp, there's no way you could have ever done that. Even though I could never believe that my husband would do that. Oh, so what, you're living together lovingly? Oh no, you're living in protective custody from him because you're so scared of him domestically abusing you, and he's beating you up so many times, and your kids or whatever. And it's like, shouldn't you be able to connect the two? Like, you're living in protective custody, but you still think, oh no, there's no way he could have done that. I would have never believed he would actually kill somebody. Like, come on, man. You got to be a little bit more perceptive than that. And again, this could be a good format for a series, but I wouldn't have chosen this case to be the episode 1, because it was really, you really don't sympathize with her too much. Again, not in the raw sense that what he's doing is bad, but she's so dumb and imperceptive, and you might think, oh, it's hindsight bias, like, oh, you're seeing all these clues. But my point is the one standard rule, the high standard rule. If they do something to you one time, this is my standard. If you're in a relationship and they hit you once in a way that's like, not like jokingly, like, oh, I just pat you, whatever, right? Like a fake little punch. I'm talking about if they actually hurt you, or they actually physically, in a fight, in a malicious sense. Somebody who's supposed to love you and care about you is hurting you physically. That's something that even somebody who hates you shouldn't do, or even your enemies or people you don't like, right? Doesn't mean they necessarily should physically hurt you. But that means not only do they not view you in that way, like they don't love you, but they don't even care about you, because they would never do that then. Right? That should never even be on the table. Physical abuse is a one strike and you're out. Like, if they do it to you one time, just break up with them and that's it. It's over. Imagine having that standard in society, like, oh no, but then that's too high of a standard, then you'll never end up with anybody, as if physical abuse is a normal thing. Like, let's normalize physical abuse is bad. If anybody ever does it to you even once, male, female, doesn't matter, boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, just end it right there. Right, just end it right there. That's a good standard to have, right? How could you argue against that, right? What would people say? Oh, well, people are used to it from childhood, but I mean, that might be sad. Like, maybe you were abused as a kid, but that doesn't mean you should be okay with it as an adult. Like, it's just in and of itself, it's bad, or like whatever. Like, you just shouldn't, don't put up with it. One time is it, right? Like, why shouldn't you have the high standard? Like, you're with somebody in a relationship that's supposed to be a happy, positive thing. Sure, it's not always going to be sunshine. You might have some arguments, you might have some fights, but if it goes to the point of physical violence, just end it right there. Don't put up with that. I don't see how you can argue against that. So I have a very low tolerance for that. Again, in all the relationships I've been in, just anecdotally, right, you might have some fights, you'll break up, whatever, but never was physical violence even on the table. Right, whether I would have never done it, I never even thought about doing it, they never would have done it, they never thought about doing it, like, that's just it. That's just not even something that would even cross our mind, and at least with most of them, I'm still friends with those people, so, like, you know what I mean, like, you respect them as a person, it wouldn't be like that, you would never have that happen.